Hari Om. Let us chant the first 5 mantras of part 1. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Keneshitam patati preshitam manak kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshishrodram kabudevo yunakti. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso mano yad vachoha vachagu savo pranasya pranaha chakshurati muchyadhira pretyasman lokatamrta bhavanti na tatra chakshur gacchati na vagacchati no mano na vidmo na vijanimo yathaitathanushishyat anyateva tat vididhatato avididhatati iti shushrumapudesham yenastadvyachachakshire yadvachanabhyudidam yena vagavyudhyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhinedam yaditamupasate.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kenopanisad. A very unique Upanishad where the name of the Guru is also not known, the name of the Sishya is also not known. There is a question and then there is an answer. Now, who's asking the question and who's giving the answer? We don't. The names are not even known here. So they don't even bother to register the irrelevant details. They don't even bother to register these things. What all is irrelevant, they don't. Who asked the question, who gave the answer, where, when, irrelevant all this is, or the Upanishads. The student comes in with the idea with wanting to know something. In that student wanting to know something, you have seen that person having done a lot of preparation and come. What is the preparation that he has made? What is understanding the student is having? The fundamental ideas. We see a body, the physical body. Science will say it is made up of chemicals. Science says it's all made up of chemicals. That's why when you have a disease, some chemical is given so that some chemical can set it right. All medicines is nothing but chemicals. And you can only take chemicals because body is nothing but group of chemicals put together. Even if you take as, even if you eat anything, it converts into something else. It turns into chemicals only inside the body. Same physical body, Vedanta gives the definition. What is the Vedanta gives? It says the body is made up of 5 elements. Physical body is there. One set of people say it is made up of something. Shastra, Vedanta comes and says it is made up of 5 elements. Everything in this world is made up of these 5 elements. Earth gives solidity to the body. It is water that gives shape. It is fire, the temperature. It is air, the breath. Space, we occupy in plenty, isn't it? Space we occupy. So, the same body, Vedanta talks about it as the 5 elements. By itself, they have no life. Something gives life to it. Vedanta. Science says there is no separate thing called life and all. When group of these things gotten together, life became an accidental byproduct of elements. Science says consciousness, life, and all that is a byproduct. Byproduct of what? When certain things gotten together, accidentally something happened. That something that happened accidentally is what is called as life. So why are you making this a big issue? Shastra comes and says, no. We look at life very differently. The body is inert itself. The body is inert by self. Venkat, controls உங்கள்ட்ட இருக்கா? சாய் கிட்ட இருக்கா?
Both, sir.
Both,
sir. Both.
Both, okay. Mute everybody. The body is inert in itself. By itself, it has no life, and it is something that gives life to the elements to function. This is the first lesson the student has studied. Yesterday we said the student came back fully prepared. What is the preparation? What is the study? This is the study the student has done and come with this preparation and asking this question. Vedanta, the Shastra takes off at the second point itself on a different angle. Vedanta, the Shastra takes off in a different angle. What is a different angle? They bring in what is known as a subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. Science says Stula Sharira. There is no something called Sukshma Sharira and all. Whatever is happening within the gross body only. So there is no need to bring in something called as subtle body and all that. It takes off. It stops there. Vedanta comes in with a different angle now. What is the different angle the Shastra comes up with? It introduces subtle body, mind and intellect. They introduce mind and intellect. Is mind located inside the brain? Is mind the brain? They are very clear. Don't confuse like that and all. They are all one and the same. So unnecessarily don't ask questions and confuse yourself. It stops there. It stops at the level of the physical body, the physical world, the physical reality. Shastra takes one step ahead and says there is this invisible subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. It doesn't stop there. It goes much deeper and say there is the Karana Sharira, the causal body. So the Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira itself is a thing that is introduced only by the Vedanta. In the science part of it, there is no Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira and all that. You know all this, no? If we don't know all this, we should know all this. Because Upanishad student has known all this and come. What is the subtle body made up of? What is the subtle body made up of? In different books, different numbers are given for the subtle body. In one book, the subtle body is 4. Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. In our regular classes, we talk about subtle body as mind and intellect. We talk about from 4, we edited 2, and we say subtle body means it's only mind and intellect. You go to the other textbooks, they say subtle body is made up of 17 parts. 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, pancha prana, manas, buddhi. Some other gives 19 number. Some gives 17, some gives 19. They turn back and say, you yourself are confused. That's why you yourself don't know what the actual number is. So all this subtle body and all looks like a speculation. In Vedanta, we say gross body is also made up of matter. The subtle body is also made up of matter. Grosser part of the matter, gross body. Subtler aspect of the matter, subtle body. Atma Bodhala ஞாபகம் இருக்கணும். If you remember Atma Bodha and all that, we'll be able to follow what is being discussed. Mind also by itself is inert. Body by itself is inert. Mind also, mind means the subtle body. The subtle body by itself is also inert. Third problem comes in now. What is the third problem? Logically, we seem to understand body, mind as inert, but experientially, you say body is sentient. Have you ever experienced a inert body? Have you ever experienced an inert body? If you have experienced, you won't be sitting here, isn't it? If you have experienced an inert body, you won't be sitting here. So, when we are alive, it is very difficult to accept and understand that these bodies are inert, insentient, even though logically it appeals to hear that it is insentient. So, logic says it is insentient. Experientially, we believe that it is sentient. How to distinguish it? Some examples are given. Kenopanisad student has done all this homework and come. Now we are only discussing what is the homework that person has done. And YSR gave me the free hand last night. Yeah. He said, no, sir, don't rush and all, we can even continue next month, part 2. We can even continue part 3 following month, Sai. I am not responsible. Ask him only. I am not responsible. He gave me a free hand saying, no, sir, there's no need to rush and all, and there's no need to rush and finish everything. We can go a bit slowly. At your pace, you can go, sir, he said. Correct, no? Correct. At your pace. Then in this Janma, we will not finish Kenopanisad, Sai. He said, go at your pace. We will not increase the classes. At the 5th class, we'll shut down. Next month, we'll continue. Sai, don't get scared. No, you is in a daily, we have to sit down and don't get worried. 5 classes, we will conclude. We will continue next month only. We will not have anything in between. So, since he gave me some free hand yesterday, I'm exploiting that. Okay. So when you have to exploit, you have to sit and expand. That's all. What is the way to exploit? You have to sit and expand. That's what we are expanding. What is the preparation with which the student has come? I think matter is, you are saying body, mind and all is jadam, inert, but patha abdillam theriyala. Logically, it seems to be jadam, but experientially, it seems to have a lot of life. And so is it, what is it, is the question. Are you able to understand the question that he is asking? What is it is the question. Inquiry. All these are bothering that person. I don't know whether it is a boy or a girl. All this is bothering that person. Milk. And then there is something called milk sweet. There is a milk, and then there is something called milk sweet. Milk is not sweet. Correct? There is no natural sweet in the milk. So the non-sweet milk, you add sugar, it becomes sweetened milk. Before adding sweet, the milk is white. After adding sweet, the milk is white. Correct? Before adding sweet, the milk is white. After adding sweet also, the milk is white. So, experientially, milk is white only. But then, it is a combination of 2 things. What is that? The non-sweet milk plus added something becomes sweetened milk. The jadam plus something equals human being. That's how we derive the formula. The jadam plus something equals human being. The question that this person in this Upanishad is asking is, the question that the person in the Upanishad is asking is about the jadam, about the inert matter. Lot of studies is going on, lot of understanding is going on, all that I have known and understood. What is it that is added that makes it a human being? I want to know that. So he knows there is jadam and know that it is, you know that it is jadam, and also you understand that there is something else added to it. As a result of the additional factor, it appears to be having life. How did they understand that? How did they understand that? On witnessing the lifeless body. All this question came from witnessing the lifeless body, which was moving around with a lot of life and energy, suddenly lying there and you touch it, it's like a wood, dead wood it is. I don't know how many of you have touched a dead body and felt it. And then you touch your body, it's very difficult to believe that both are one and the same. It's very difficult to believe. Don't try all this, please. Don't try all this, and if something happens, we are not. How beautiful is this experiment? And where did this experiment come from? It came from looking at the dead body. What happened there? Something has left. So, lot of research and everything went about on doing that. They say soul left, isn't it? Now, when did the soul come? How did the soul come? And why did the soul leave? First of all, why did it come? And now, why did it leave? A lot of experiments are done to measure the soul, to weigh the soul, to capture the soul. Lot of experiments are done even today to weigh the soul, to measure the soul. Because something is still happening. No, we say that person is dead, but the eyes and heart are still alive. That's why we are able to harvest and give it off to somebody. No, it means is the fellow dead or alive? Dead only, sir. Clinically, death certificate and all is given, but then they say, can we take the organs? Now, what do you are able to follow? Fifth day, if you keep the body, nails and hair are still growing. 5 days. Now, what is it? What is it that? So, having observed all these things, they're asking, what is it that has come in? What is it that has left? Weird experiments they do. We don't call it weird because that's what they can. That's what they can try. Weigh the body before death and weigh the body after death. No change in the weight. It means soul is weightless. Because mathematically speaking, if something has left, there should be at least some gram difference, no? In the weight, correct? Vijay. Huh? If soul has some weight, if you weigh the body, at least it should be 100 grams less. Now we can the soul weight is 100 grams. It's exactly the same. They don't know. They don't know what is happening, whether what is coming, what is going. Nothing is known, understood. Then comes the question. With all these preparatory studies and everything, it means what all books that person has studied and mastered and understood, all the prakarana granthas that person has studied, all the sadhana chatushtaya sampat that person has followed. Yesterday we spoke about it, sadhana chatushtaya. Remember that, no? Sadhana chatushtaya, viveka, vairagya, shat sampat, mumukshatvam, all that. So not only a person has this inquiry, he has also done all this and a very excellent combination of penetrative inquiry and mastered the sadhana chatushtaya sampat. So who's Upanishadic student now that is asking this question? The Upanishadic question that the person is the preparation with which the person has come in is this. What is the preparation? Sadhana chatushtaya sampat plus a deep penetrative inquiry. With these two preparation, he has come. what the Mundaka Upanishad calls as Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan, having examined the world. We don't examine the world. We also examine only for what? We also examine the world. But what do we examine the world for? Not for understanding it. How to extract, how to exploit, what to get, what I is it. That is why we explore we explore the, but Upanishadics, they don't explore it like that. They see it from a very totally different, they do examination. What is this examination? Something about life is so mysterious, unknown. Now the thirst is to know that. That is mumukshatva. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat. There is something upon deeper examination of life, you will understand there is something so mysterious about life. There is something, it's mysterious, it's beautiful, it is wonderful, it is extraordinary, incomprehensible. The person wants to, the person has developed a earning for that. That intense feeling of wanting to know that is called mumukshatva. He will not come and say the world is useless. He will come and say something in that life is so mysterious, is so beautiful, is so wonderful. What is that? I think we spoke about it yesterday. A Upanishadic student comes out of a tremendous contentment. We spoke about that yesterday. Is not the one in misery. A person in misery and sorrow and suffering and crying don't come to the Upanishad. A person of misery and sorrow and suffering and crying will only want freedom from sorrow. Because that person has misunderstood, liberation means freedom from sorrow. A person in misery, what will be that person's concept of moksha, liberation? Freedom from misery. I am miserable, sir. If I can get freedom from this misery, I'll be. That is moksha, isn't it? That is moksha. Anything that causes suffering is binding. Anything that causes suffering is binding, and you always want freedom from that binding, suffering. Upanishadic student comes and says, all that I have taken care of and crossed over that at the sadhana chatushtaya level itself. At the sadhana chatushtaya level itself, all that is taken care of, outgrown. What is the query here? The query is not about how to get freedom from suffering. How to get freedom from sorrow is not the question. What is the question that the Upanishadic student is asking? What is it that is so meaningful about? What is it that is so mysterious about life? What is it that is mysterious about life? The spirit part of it is mysterious. So the question is about the spirit part of life. The matter part of it is already known. There is nothing mysterious in it. Only when you penetrate deeper and deeper and deeper, it starts becoming mysterious. So the question here that the student is asking about what? What is it? Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kenah pranah pratamah praiti yuktaha keneshitam vacham imam vadanti chakshushrotram kaudevo yunakti. What is that sentient principle? Because of association with that, the body, mind, intellect and all is behaving as though it is sentient. That is the question. What is it that is added to the milk that it is appearing, that it is tasting sweet? That's the question. What is it that is added to the milk that it is tasting sweet? ரெண்டும் ஒயிட்டா தான் இருக்குது பார்க்கிறதுக்கு. Both are appearing white only. But something is added into that. What is it? What is that invisible principle because of which inert body, the senses, the mind behave as though they are sentient? இவ்வளவு preparation இருந்து இந்த question வந்தாதான் the answer will be meaningful. Supposing if the question itself is not meaningful, then don't worry. Question meaningful allana answer எப்படி புரியும்? Yeah. That's why you have to elaborate the question first. By whom willed and directed does the mind light on objects? Commanded by whom does the prana functions? By whose will speech happens? What intelligence directs the eyes and the ears towards their respective? Manaha preshitam patati. Keneshitam padati preshitam manaha. படிக்கும்போது இப்படி மாத்தி படிக்கணும். Manaha preshitam patati. It means the mind objectifies the world. The mind objectifies the world. Here he says the mind itself is an object. If the mind itself is an object, then what becomes the subject? Again, the question that is asking Narayana. The question that is asking is, it is the mind that objectifies the world. It is the mind that sees everything, that understands everything. So it means the understanding principle is the mind, grosser is the object of the world. All this we have studied a lot. I'm just recollecting, I'm just brushing what we have studied. Mind is the subject. Mind is the enlivener of the objects of the world. That's what is known as subject. Means that which enlivens the object and understand. That is the subject-object thing. Venkatachalam, are you able to follow now? It is the mind that is objectifying the world. It means it is mind that is giving vitality, as it were. It is mind that is making its presence felt. It is mind that is making its presence felt about everything. The question that is asking is, the mind itself is an object, no? Mind itself becomes an object. In Vedanta, mind itself becomes the object. Mind means the entire jadam, the entire matter. The entire humanity is becoming the entire jiva is the object. Then what is the subject? Then what is the subject? நம்ம கிளாஸ்ல அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தாருன்னா கேள்வி கேட்கறதுக்கு முடிக்கிறதுக்குள்ளே பதில் வந்திருக்கும். Yeah, Ram Subramaniam. கேள்வியே முடியல. Answer is given. Go to the next mantra, sir. Yeah. Consciousness objectifying the mind. Answer is given. The question is not understood. What he is typing also he doesn't understand. Do you know one thing? One interesting thing about human being, Ram Subramaniam. One interesting thing about human being is this. A person can talk and talk and talk on a subject and not know a word of what he's talking. The most unique nature of the human being is this. You follow? Again, a person can, that's why a Upanishadic student will never come to us. Why? Because we don't even allow him to finish the question. We give the answer. Group discussion madri. Group discussion, the fellow will not be even allowed to finish the question. Immediately answers will start even before the questioner has. Now, I have not even completed what I want to say. No, that's okay. Answer is given first. Yeah. You follow? That person a person has this craving. The person has this longing. What is that craving? If mind itself is the subject, then who it is? Then who it is? If mind itself is the subject, then the world becomes object. If the mind becomes the object, then who's the subject? The answer that you should give is, I don't know. I know you're only asking question, Ram Subramanian. When this question is asked to you, the answer that you should give is, I don't know. And Upanishadic master will not give the answer, I don't know, because he is the only person that knows he or she is the only person that knows the answer. Blessed by what the prana is functioning. Blessed by what the mind is functioning. Blessed by what the mind and intellect is doing their respective functions. Who is doing all this? There is an invisible principle that makes the indriyams to function, that makes the pranas to function, that makes the body to function. There is some invisible. The question is, what is that invisible? Because he has already done inquiry and negated all this and having come to the conclusion, which power propels? Which power propels? The power that is not seen, the power that is not understood, but it exists. What is that is the question. Are you able to follow the question? He's not asking what it is. He's saying there is something that is non-understandable. There is something that is non-understandable. What is that? Non-understandable. What is that non-understandable? It means a very beautiful clue to the starting of the Upanishad. What is the starting of the Upanishad? From this, there is a clue. What is the clue? The clue is to keep aside all the answers as borrowed, not mine. The clue. Whatever answers you know, those answers are copied, borrowed. Copied answers, borrowed answers is not your answer. Now, what is he saying? That invisible, there is that invisible thing that I know it existing, but I know no way of knowing it. Are you able to follow now? The question is, there is something that is existing, but I have no way of knowing it. That existing unknowable entity, teach me. That's the question. Able to derive or able to arrive at what he's saying? He's saying that he's not asking what is existing. There is something is there. Because that is pariksha. if we have examined it rightly, all the introductory to Prakarana Granthas, all that we have studied rightly, it is very clear that there is something. There is something. But what it is, I don't know. Is there a way by which I can know it? Is there a way by which I can teach me that which cannot be taught and untaughable? I don't know. Huh? That which cannot be taught, teach me. That which cannot be seen, can you show me? Is the question. In the question right of Purunjale, we will not go into the next mantra. We will close the Upanishad class itself. Because the question is asking is what? Show me that which cannot be seen. Teach me that which cannot be taught. Look at the discussion. The student is asking, teach me that which cannot be taught. The teacher is also saying, I will teach you that which cannot be taught. Looks like something is not all right in both the teacher and the student, isn't it? Looks like something is wrong in both of them. Because the student is asking, teach me that which cannot be taught. And what is the teacher saying? I'm waiting for a student like you only. I will teach you that which cannot be taught. The Upanishads, it's so difficult to leave the student and go to the answer. Because the questions of the Upanishad is so meaningful, so powerful. So the question is what? How does what enlivens the thoughts? Who's commanding the prana? By whose will work happens? What intelligence drives? So all that he's asking is what? I know there is something. That is convincing. That is convinced. What is it? The introductory textbooks, Atmabodha, Bhajagovindam, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras, all that put together, a person has understood only one thing. What is that one thing that person has understood? So many books to understand one statement, one formula. And that one formula, which all these introductory books are talking, is this. Human being equals spirit plus matter. He has understood matter. He's saying, I have understood matter. Now, let us discuss about the spirit part. Are you able to follow what he's asking? Of the formula, human being equals spirit plus matter, the student is saying, I understood what? I understood what spirit. I understood what matter is. Spirit, I don't know. And also you are saying it cannot be taught. Also you are saying it cannot be shown. For the one who has done the sadhana, chatushtaya, mumukshatva and all that, it is possible. Now I am ready with all that, teach me. Some time back when the student went, the teacher said, prepare and come back. Now the student has prepared and coming back and asking, now teach me. To that prepared student, the Guru gives an answer. The eternal reality, which is there all the time, which is there ever present, which you are, how is it missed? Is the question. Again, I repeat, the reality that is ever present. It's not even an ever present reality as an object outside. You are that. You are that reality. And how is it that you are missing it? If it is going to be a product of an action or it is going to be created, then there is a different discussion. But here, there's nothing to be created. There's nothing to be discovered. It is there. That which is there already, how are you missing it? It's so clear, so clear, so clear, and yet completely obscured. How is it possible? Looking at the bright sunlight, a blind person asking where is sun is understandable. A person looking at the bright sunlight asking where is sun. What is sun? What will you do to that person? That is the beauty here. That eternal, ever-present truth you are is not realized because of what? The attention has shifted. The attention has shifted. Now the question is how to get the attention back. The question is how to get the attention back. He is convinced that attention has shifted already. How that person is convinced that the attention has shifted already? Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana mundakoparishad. Remember that. By the preliminary study, by the pariksha, by examining the world, etc., that person has already understood that attention is gone. The question is how to get it back. Can this attention be stopped? Can this attention from the world, can it be shifted at all in the first place? Permanently, forever, temporarily we can shift. Even if you don't shift deep sleep, you are shifting every day, isn't it? So the question is, how is it that a person can shift the attention from this completely? Like Arjuna asked in the Bhagavad Gita, can the mind be stopped at all? The question in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked, can this mind be stopped at all? Can the attention from the world be shifted? Why are we living as a separate ego? Why are we living as a separate ego, suffocated in the endless limitations? Why am I not able to leave that? All this is implied in this one question. Kene shidam padati preshitam manaha, kenaf pranaf pratamaf praiti yuktaha, kene shidam vachamimam vadanti, chaksushrotram kaudevo yunakti. And who can give an answer to this question? Who can give an answer to this question? Only a Brahmanishta can give an answer to the question. We will say Brahmanishta la vana sir. Konja naal Vedanta classes vaanga porum. Come for a few Vedanta classes, you will know all the answers. Why Brahmanishta la unnecessary? Why go and disturb? Why go and disturb that person? He is so busy with Brahman. He is so preoccupied with Brahman. We know the answers. Everyone follow? So the question. What is the question? To put it in a nutshell, teach me that which cannot be taught. This question has no logical meaning. How can you teach that which cannot be taught, because it's not a question of logic. It's a question of deeper understanding. To that person, Guru gave an answer. That answer is mantra 2. Now we will read mantra 2. Mantra 2 padi.
श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनो यद्वाचोह वाचगु सव प्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुषक्षुरतिमुच्य धीरा प्रेत्यास्माल्लोकात् अमृता भवन्ति श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनो यद्वाचोह वाचगु सव प्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुषक्षुरतिमुच्य धीरा प्रेत्यास्माल्लोकात् अमृता भवन्ति.
That which indeed is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the speech of the speech, the prana of the prana, and the eye of the eye. The wise, having completely freed and risen above this world, become immortal. What is the question and what is the answer? Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat is the question. The answer that is giving is beautiful. That which indeed is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the speech of the speech, the prana of the prana, and the eye of the eye. Atimuchya dhiraha, the wise, having completely freed and risen above this world, become immortal. Now what is he saying? Simple explanation. Capital E, small e. That's all. That's all it is. Ear, capital, ear, small. Capital P, prana, small p, prana. Capital M, is that a teaching or what? Just to say the same thing, and see, at least in English there is this capitals. In Sanskrit, what will you do? See, at least in English you have this capital letter and small letter. In Sanskrit there is no capital letter and small letter and all that. Pranasya pranaha, shrotrasya shrotram. We should thank English language for this. Capital letter and small letter. Otherwise, this Kenopanisad mantra, the most beautiful Kenopanisad mantra, will not be understood at all completely. At least for this only, we should thank the English language. Vijay, Purida, the Gosama, the thank you. How to even understand this? What is the original source of the entire life? What is the cause of all your movements, of all your expressions? What force impels you to be alive? What force gives you the lust for life? What force creates desire? There must be a hidden force. There is that hidden force, that inexhaustible hidden force that goes on and on and on and doesn't get tired at all. You focus on something, you get tired after a while. You be aware of something, after a while you want to take a break. How can something be aware and aware and aware and aware and continue to remain aware? How can something be so much in the present only, where the concept of past and future don't exist at all? What is all this? That is the question. The answer that he is giving is this. What is the cause for everything? ordinary classroom, what is the cause for everything? Kama, Raga, Dvesha, illa, isn't it? Kama, Raga, Dvesha is the answer in another class. Back to back class ukand ketta purive puriyathu, isn't it? Because here, what is it that is the cause for everything? It is Brahman that is the cause for everything. Because it is because of the presence of Brahman that everything is happening and functioning. Everything is divine, we say, because that's why in Vedanta, we don't divide life into spiritual, material, and all that. Everything is divine because it is that divine energy, that Brahman, that Shrotrasya Shrotram, he is doing everything. You know, there is a story. God created the world from his own image and fell in love with it. You create something and you fall in love with it. The question here is, the creator is going on and on and on, but not fallen in love at all. What is this? The answer that he is giving is this. When Brahma creates the cow, understand it as a principle first, not literally. If the cow has come out of the same and the bull has come out of the same, correct? Bull is also created by the same. The cow is also created by the same. It means the masculine and feminine in one. Logically difficult to accept it. Are you able to follow? The very creation itself. The question is about I'll come back to the year of the year and eye of the eye and all. We'll go step by step. He created the cow and he created the bull. And the bull chases the cow. And what the cow does? Goes and hide itself. And there's a hide and seek game going on. Are you able to understand the story at least? From the same source, two polar opposites have come out. From the same source, two polar opposites came out and they interact with each other. So, literally seeing things as this polar opposites and all is so. Because how can from one entity the polar opposites can come? That itself is illogical in the first place. Are you able to follow? That itself is highly illogical. After that, that polar opposites start chasing one another. That's why the Vedas, the Upanishads, Purana says, life is just a game, Leela. They say life is a Leela, a game, a sport. What is the game? A sport. One dividing itself into two and believing that they are separate entities chasing one another and trying to merge and become one. It's a mad game. It's a funny game, he says. It's a very funny game that is going on. When the part that is divided merges, does anything new come out of it? Looks like something new coming out. No, that is Leela. That is the play. It means, what are they actually saying? Now carefully follow. This is where we are connecting it to the eye of the eye. The eyes are seeing the opposites. What the eye see as opposite, the capital I comes and says, no. What the eye see as opposites, the capital I says, no. It means what? There is no small I, there is no small I, there is no seer, there is no seen, there is no such division. It is one Brahman that is becoming the husband and one Brahman that has become the wife. And that one Brahman has become the child also. That one Brahman becomes the husband and the wife. And from that Brahman, which is the husband, and that Brahman, which is the wife, comes another Brahman called the child. Introduction was so, looks like we thought we are going to hear something so extraordinary, and suddenly the classic Upanishadic language has come in. What? Blabbering, isn't it? Suddenly the classic Upanishadic language, because when the answer comes in, that's how it has to be, because that's how, so they say. So what makes the eyes to see? Answer is eye. That's what he's saying. Shrotrasya Shrotram. What is it that makes the eyes to see? It is the eye that makes the eyes to see. What is your problem? Correct. But that boy, that student there understood something so different, something so beautifully they understood. What is that? You think you are doing something, it is the totality or God or Brahman, the doer. You think you are breathing in and breathing out? Pranasya pranaha. Pranasya pranaha. You are not breathing in and breathing out. If you think you are breathing in and breathing out, sometimes you don't want to stop breathing, but breathing stops, isn't it? Sometimes you wish it stopped. Thank God it didn't stop. Who's doing that? Some entity is doing things over which you have absolutely no say or no control. The question is always asked. This is the Upanishadic methodology. The question is always asked from the level of the individual. The answer is always given from the angle of Brahman. What is it that makes the eyes to see? Wherever there are eyes seeing, it is because of the eye. Wherever there is pranas functioning, it is because of. Wherever there is pranas functioning, it is because of the prana. This has to be constantly emphasized because we go on forgetting. The Upanishadic student is asking the question, all along I thought I am the doer. I am seeing, I am breathing, I am hearing, I am thinking. All along, I thought I am the doer. Now I have understood I am not the doer. Are you able to follow now? All along, the ego keeps on saying, I am the doer. What should I do? I am the doer. What should I do? Am I doing it rightly? Am I doing it correctly? So the emphasis is on the I, the doer. What is the answer he is giving? What is the answer that he is giving? Answer that he is giving is, you are right. You are not the doer. In that I of the I, it is accepted. What is it that is accepted? You are not the doer. Correct. Then who's the doer? I. You are not seeing. My eyes are seeing. I am seeing. No. When you forget yourself, you remember God. You can't remember God. Again, forgetting yourself, in that forgetting yourself, the remembrance of divine happens. But the human being asks this question. What is the question they ask Narayana? How can I remember God? How can you remember God? For all that you have to do is you have to forget, dissolve yourself, empty yourself, dissolve yourself, shift the attention out of yourself. When the attention and everything is shifted out of itself, what is understood? Wherever there is movement, wherever there is action, wherever something is happening, there is no doer there. It is the divine that is playing this game. That's why in life we call it as Leela. When the hands are moving, who's moving? It is Brahman as it were. When the eyes are seeing, it is Brahman as it were. If your heart is beating, it is Brahman as it were. Knowing this, what knowing this? Pret yasmat amrita loka bhavanti. Knowing this, the person attains to immortality. Knowing this, a person attains immortality. What does he know? It is Brahman. It is Brahman. It is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the tongue of the tongue. Okay, go on and on. How much ever you want to add, you can keep adding. Doesn't make any difference. But for elaborating purposes, we'll just take one. For elaboratory purposes, we take one, and the same principle you can apply to all the things that he is asking. Sweet milk is there. Milk is sweetless. What had happened in between that the milk is tasting sweet is the question. Are you able to follow? The milk has no sweet. Now there is the sweetened milk. Something is added. If something has added means, that which is added means borrowed, lending. That's why it's called borrowed, lending sentiency as it were. Borrowing consciousness as it were. when you say hot water, the heat is borrowed. When you say hot water, what is borrowed? The heat is borrowed. That's why you just leave it like that. It gets cold. So, that which makes it inert, that which by itself is inert, but that which makes it appear to have life. What is it? The answer is, it doesn't say Brahman. That's why it's called an Upanishad. Consciousness, it will not say. Brahman, it will not say. It will say the same word that the questioner used. The Upanishad will use the same word to give the answer. What makes the eyes to see? Eneshitam patati preshitam. What makes the eyes to see? He's using the same word, the eyes, and saying Shrotrasya. Shrotram, ear of the ear. Ear of the ear. And to know the capital E, you have to negate the small e. Negate means shifting or attack. Negate means, please understand, whenever we say negate, negation doesn't mean destroying it. Negation doesn't mean killing it. Negation means penetratively looking at the core. If you have to look at something at the core, the superficial layers have to be peeled off. That is called negating. Again, I repeat. In Vedanta, when we use the word negate, what is meant by negation? In the superficial layers, you believe that is it. You need to know what it is. And if you need to know what it is, start peeling. Start peeling. And when you start peeling, something remains at the core. What is it? The eye of the eye. The ear of the ear. What is it that makes the eyes to see? Eyes. What is it that makes the ears to hear? Ears. What is it that makes the mind to function? Mind. What is it that makes the pranas to function? Prana. Having known this, the wise attains immortality. All of the mantra. What makes the eyes to see? Eyes. What makes the ears to hear? Ears. What makes the mind to feel and do all that? The mind. What makes the pranas to function? Prana. Knowing this, the wise attains. He's saying, knowing this, the wise attains immortality. What is that immortality? In one mantra, 4 topics are covered. That's why it's a very beautiful mantra. And every Upanishadic mantra, when they start, few topics will be covered in one mantra itself. The 4 topics covered in this one mantra is Atma Swarupam, Atma Jnanam, Jivan Mukti. Mukti continues, Videha also. 4 topics is covered. In the presence of enclosure, it is called Jivan Mukti. In the absence of enclosure, it is called Videha Mukti. Atma Jnanam, Atma Swarupam, Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti. 4 topics is covered in one mantra. Each and every topic we take one year to finish. Separate, we can take each and every topic, and this man here has finished the whole lot in one mantra. What is Atma Swarupam? The capital I is the Atma Swarupam. What is Atma Jnanam? Knowing this is Atma Jnanam. attaining immortality means immortality in the Upanishadic sense has two, Jivan Mukti as well as Videha Mukti, because it's not the end of the body, it's the end of liberation. Free in the presence of enclosure, free in the absence of enclosure. It means even within the enclosure, it is free. You able to follow? So within the enclosure, it is free. In the absence of enclosure also, it is free. Therefore, Atma Swarupam, Atma Jnanam. What is the phalam? Benefit. What is the result of this knowledge? Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. These four separate is what we are going to study tomorrow. And how it is connected to the I of the, how it is connected to the capital E and the small e. Don't worry. இன்னைக்கு class 80-85% over the head தான் போயிருக்கும். Yeah. Like bouncers, it would have gone over a wicket keeper's head also, isn't it? It would have gone over that man's head also. What to do? So many things is concising in one mantra. So we have to tell what all is concise in this one mantra, and then we will deal with it separately. And when we are dealing with it separately, we will take only one thing. What? Year of the year. And we will see how all the four topics is covered. With this, we conclude for today. And we continue tomorrow with mantra one only. Sir will be thinking, he'll be thinking, why did I even say this? My formality, I told him, and he took it so sai. For formality, he said something, and I took it so seriously also. If this is not enough, next mantra he will say, we don't know that. We don't know how to teach you that also. Because the question that is asked is, teach that which cannot be taught. Each and every mantra is a beautiful mantra, comes up with a unique answers. In all this, we try to derive a sadhana out of it. We just don't discuss it like a theological discussion. We try to derive some practice for us that will help us to come to this point is what we are discussing. Theological discussion is very simple. It's not that difficult. But if you have to derive the inner message and get something extracted out of it that you can put into practice, it's very meaningful. With this, we conclude for today and we continue tomorrow only, no? Tomorrow, we continue with mantra 1. Thank you.
There is a clarification by Mala.
Mala HOA class nanchindrukku pora. Mala must be thinking this is Holocaust of attachment class. Mala. Could you please repeat the mind functioning as subject and object, etc.? The eyes see the object. Mala. Eyes see the object. Kannu paagaradu. Is the eyes per se seeing it? Can the eyes see anything per se? No, the eyes cannot see anything per se because the gross sense organ eye has to go through the indriyas, and that indriya has to connect to the mind. and that mind has to be connected to the intellect. So when the eyes see, so many things are coming into play. So from the standpoint of the object, the eye is the subject. From the standpoint of the indriyas, the eyes become the object. From the standpoint of the mind, the indriyas becomes the object. From the standpoint of the intellect, the mind becomes the object. Narayana, did I say the sequence rightly? Up to here, after here we'll be confused. What is it that is making what is it that is seeing the intellect? Down the line, everything. If the intellect itself is seen, then intellect becomes the object. Then who is it that is seeing the intellect? Manasastu parabuddhehe yo buddhehe paratastu saha. Indriyani paranyavuhu indriyebhya parammanaha manasastu parabuddhehe yo buddhehe paratastu saha. Kenopanisad. Same verse in Bhagavad Gita is borrowed. Same verse from Kenopanisad. Krishna borrows this verse. Chapter 3. Verse 42, chapter 3. Reference. You follow? The eyes sees the object. It means who's the subject and who's the object? The eye is the subject. What you see as an apple is the object. So apple is the object. The eye is the subject. Now, who is seeing the eye? The indriyas. Something is seeing the indriyas, the mind. Something is seeing the mind, the intellect. Something is making sure the intellect is also. What is that? Saha, he says. Kenopanisad also doesn't say it is Brahman consciousness. Kenopanisad also says Saha. Saha means some third person. But definitely the intellect, the mind, the indriyas, the organs, all themselves become object. Normally speaking, the combination of the intellect, the mind, the indriyas, the organs collectively is what you call as I, the individual, and the individual is seen as the subject. Normally speaking. Are you able to follow now? Normally speaking, the collection of the four is given one word called the I, and that is seen as the subject. World becomes the object. Now he is shifting it. What you call as the I itself has become the object. If what you call as the object itself has become the, what you call as the subject itself has become the object, then who's the real subject? Saha. Kenopanisad calls it as Saha. Mandukya Upanishad calls it as Turiyam. Isavasya Upanishad will calls it as Purnam. Kenopanisad is calling it as Shrotrasya Shrotram. One Upanishad will give one word to the same entity. And how much ever it is said, it's not completely described. Are you able to follow? For the same thing, Isavasya will call it as Purnam. For the same thing, Mandukya will call it as Turiyam. For the same thing, Kenopanisad said Saha. Mundaka Upanishad calls it as Paravidya. In Kenopanisad, it is known as Shrotrasya Shrotram. The eye of the, ear of the ear. Ear of the ear. With this, we conclude. Mal, it's okay?
One by Ramasubramanian.
Ramasubramanian, அவர் என்ன போட்டிருக்கிறாரு? With blindness, which is not functioning, eye or sense organ eye. Similarly, with deafness, ear or ear, and so on. Ramasubramanian, capital I போடக்கூடாது அங்கெல்லாம். It's a defect of the organ. It's a defect in the organ. It has got nothing to do with the indriyas or the mind or the intellect. Organ defect, you cannot call it as indriya defect, mind defect, intellect defect. Abdina Brahman kita varave varat. Are you able to follow? If the person is blind, it's a defect at the level of the organ. It's called golayas. It's called golayas. It's a problem at the level of the organ. Even indriyas, you can't say even indriyas are dead. Even the indriyas are blind. You can't say that. It's only the organ that is blind. Clear? Bulb if you search na electricity pola. Isn't it? Like that. The fused bulb. It's a fused bulb. Electricity is still there. You understand now? Venkatachalam. He has put one thing. I have one query.
My query is in Bhagavad Gita we talked about relationless relationship between pure consciousness and the manifested forms of man. But here we see that pure consciousness as the eye of the eye, or as so. I'm just a little bit lost in that description of the relationless relationship. And here is the main relation.
Correct. See, here in Upanishad, relationship can exist only when there are two entities.
Correct.
Relationship can exist only when there are two entities. The Upanishad is saying there are no two entities. That's the difference. So the level itself is taken from a different angle. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is more like a introductory textbook, certain angles will be spoken of differently to prepare to this level. You follow Venkatachalam? So, for relationship to exist, two is necessary. In the eye of the eye, the two is dissolved. There's no two. In the dancer eye of the eye, that's why it's called Atma Swarupam. The two is not there. There's only one. So actually, you should not even say one. The two is gone. Because here the student has done that extra homework and come, that person can digest it, can understand this. That's why in the morning class also I said, the answer that is given in the context of Arjuna, all Bhagavad Gita discussions must be understood in the context of Arjuna. All Upanishadic discussion must be understood in the context of the Upanishadic student. Same teacher will talk two different words because of two different contexts. Context means here the student. You follow? Yeah. Is it okay, Venkatachalam? Yeah. With this, we conclude and we meet tomorrow.